could these hubcaps save you some juice? Check it out next on Now You Know. So these are stainless steel racing disc hubcaps that I saw on Amazon. They cost about 75 bucks for the 16-inch, and I was like, would these give me better efficiency? I was looking online to find some different hubcaps for the Leaf, something that would be more efficient. I was looking, and a lot of the ones that look more efficient also look kind of lame, but these give a kind of crazy look to the automobile, and I was just thinking, out of every single hubcap that I have ever looked at, these would probably be my best bet. Now, I do want to preface, they don't have any room for ventilation for your brakes, so I would suggest only for electric cars, and even then, drive very lightly on the brake pedal, because any heat that the brakes generate is not going to be dissipated quite the same way that a normal hubcap design will allow for. So today we're going to actually test out and see whether my regular hubcaps or these new racing disc fully stainless steel plates are going to be more energy efficient. So we're going to start driving from a CHAdeMO quick charger that will quickly get me up to 100% charge. Then we're going to drive a set distance, about 20 miles, and then we'll see how much charge I have left. Now this will be with the standard hubcaps. Then we're going to go back to the CHAdeMO quick charge, slap back on the racing disc hubcaps, and see how much charge I have after I do the exact same route and hopefully the same speeds. All right, so I'm here at a ChargePoint DC fast charging station. This one is a bit out of my way, but I use it all the time. By the way, Hannaford's supermarkets, if you're listening, you've definitely earned your money's worth on this charger. So as you can see, if you look down here, I'm not using my level 2 charger, I'm using my CHAdeMO port. This is so valuable on this car. Can't tell you how many times I've used it for long distance trips. It's great for what it is. I've got my odometer zeroed out at 0.0 miles. We have our stopwatch here set for 0 seconds. We're about to start. Right now I'm at 87%. We're going to take off. We're going to go for about 10 miles. Then we're going to mark down how long it took me and the miles driven. It should remain constant because I'm going to try and keep to the speed limit of 65 miles an hour. Then we're going to come back to this exact spot and do it exactly again, except this time we'll have different hubcaps on. So let's do it. So we're probably going to run into a little bit of traffic at the beginning, but the main part and where I'm going to use the most energy is on the highway. Okay, so I just zeroed out the odometer and started. Here we go.
So tell me about using heat and air conditioning and stuff.
So right now we're not using any heat or air conditioning whatsoever. The windows are going to remain closed for the entirety of the test. And we're also going to be bringing the hubcaps with us. So the weight of both hubcaps are part of the test. Just to be scientific, we should disclose that. All right, so we're just finishing up our test now. We're going to pull into the parking lot behind this loud ICE car. All right, so we just pulled into the parking spot. Let's evaluate what we have here. All right, so we went 26 miles on the nose. We're at 51%, and we have gone for 28 minutes and 16 seconds. All right, so we brought the other hubcaps with us. We'll pop off the discs and we'll put on these ones. All right, so now the car has its standard hubcaps on it, and we're gonna go test, give it 26 miles, see what the efficiency difference is. All right, so as soon as we hit the ramp for the highway, I'm going to reset the odometer. We're gonna take a look at the percent markage. Okay, I'm holding down the trip button. It's been reset, and we start our test. So we're just trying to be as consistent as possible. I'm gonna try and hit 65 miles an hour and stay there. So wish us luck. We won't get back with much juice. Hopefully we can make it home. All right, so just about 12 minutes now into the test. We've used a lot more juice than we did last time, so it's already proving that the hubcaps make a huge difference. We're worried, in fact, that we're not going to be able to make it back to the testing ground.
All right, so we just got back from our Nissan Leaf hubcap test, and let me tell you,
I was surprised.
blown away. You guys have to double check our math. You have to double check our thinking, because if we're right about this, we could be changing transportation as you know it.
Yeah.
This could be Elon Musk, Zach, and Jesse.
Yeah. Here's what we did.
We drove 26 miles.
Yes, in total. So we drove around, 13 one way, 13 the other.
We did it almost all highway, so it's 65 miles an hour. Now, Jesse doesn't have cruise control, but I was watching him. He varied between 63 and 67, kept it right at 65 pretty much
Yeah.
the whole trip. Both ways. We did them both back to back, so the temperature did not change.
Right.
They're both the same route.
They're both the same route.
Right. But so 13 miles one way, 13 miles back. So that
And that's the route. We didn't do 13 miles and then 13 miles.
No.
We did. It was
13.
we got off the highway, turned back around, and then after we came back,
Then we
changed the
switched.
hubcaps.
Right. So both of those things are the same. Now, the first trip, here's the problem. We used battery percentage indicator to help us here because that's what the Leaf tells us.
Right.
So on the first trip, how much battery usage did we use?
So we used from 86 to 51%. So that was 35% to go 26 miles.
And this is using the streamlined, shiny new hubcaps.
Yeah, these are using the racing. They're called racing discs.
Right. Now, how much energy did we use, or how much percentage battery did we use on the second leg, which was the old hubcaps?
So we used 44%.
So let's just look at those two numbers. So first part of the trip we used what?
35%
Versus
44%.
So in this world that we live in, we decided that the 2013 Nissan Leaf battery, which is a 24 kilowatt hour battery, 24,000 watts, divide that by 100, you get 240 watts for every percentage that the battery goes down.
Right.
Now we know that's not true because we know that there's probably some amount of reserve, but just to keep everything the same. So that means on our first
And it doesn't
trip,
matter because it's proportional.
it's proportional. So on our first trip, we used how many pretend watts of energy?
So on our first trip, we used 8,400 watt hours. On our second trip, we used 10,560 watt hours.
Right.
Based off of percentage points.
Right. So we took the difference between the two, then we divided by 10,560, and that gives us
about 21%.
Yeah. So
21% better efficiency.
Yes. Incredible. I mean,
it's mind-blowing. But here's the thing. It's not like we weren't expecting it. When we were driving on the second leg, because we tested the Chromie hubcaps first because they were just already on my car. We drove it, it felt fine, whatever, and we came back. Then when we put the other hubcaps on, we started to get on the highway.
It felt different.
It felt completely different.
It sounded different. It was louder with the old hubcaps on.
If we extrapolate, basically this means that with the old hubcaps, if you were to travel at 65 miles an hour, you could get 57 miles.
So that's on a full battery.
That's on a full 100% battery, 100% to 0%.
Gotcha. What could you get with the new hubcaps?
The new hubcaps should be able to go 74 miles.
Wow, that's a difference of 17 miles?
Right. 17 miles over the course of your entire battery. Keep in mind, this is at 65 miles an hour.
Which Leafs don't like to go.
That's true. They
have a huge drag. They have a huge drag coefficient.
Right. But it looks like a huge reason for this is the hubcaps.
Now, so we're coming to this conclusion here. Think about this for a second as a thought exercise. You're spinning 4 wheels like this, going very, very fast all the time, right? There's a lot of wind resistance on the wheel from every side, not just the hubcap side, but the back side too. We are now taking one whole side and putting this shiny, smooth disc on it. So now the air resistance is way, way down.
Right. I mean, it's also coming in from the sides.
Right.
So no longer allowing it. Now, it does prevent cooling of the brakes. So that is a downside. That's a definite downside. With the Leaf, especially if you're doing highway driving, it doesn't need as much cooling because a lot of it's going to be regen. So your motor is taking that potential heat load, which isn't much because it's so efficient.
Well, we're not experts, so I mean,
right? If we've done our math wrong,
I do want to give you a disclaimer here that we're not advocating you use these caps without first talking to someone that you trust, because we know nothing about what's going on with the heating of the brakes, but we want you guys to either go test this yourselves.
Yep.
Or please tell us why you think our testing was either right or wrong.
Right.
And if we need to, we'll test it again.
Right. And here's the thing. These hubcaps are only $75.
And they're stainless steel. They're not going to rust.
Steel. They won't rust. You know, they're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. If you get a rock in there, apparently it bounces around. I've read some of the Amazon reviews, so I mean, they're definitely no silver bullet. But
you've been driving, I'd say, what, a couple weeks now with them?
About a week or so, and yeah, I've been feeling really relaxed getting on the road now. I noticed when I would get to work that normally I'd have 75% battery when I got to work.
Okay.
Now with the new hubcaps, I get about 79% remaining. So I've saved 4% going to work.
Trip.
So in that, and I rarely get up to extremely high speeds, but I'll get up to within legal driving limits.
And how much of that is highway and how much of that is back roads?
I mean, it's
50-50?
I'd say it's 90% highway.
Interesting. So that kind of falls in with the numbers we saw.
Yeah, and it would make sense. I mean, the slower you go, the less you're going to notice the efficiency. This is going at 65 miles an hour.
Right.
At 55 miles an hour, it could be a lower efficiency.
I want to bring this into the Tesla Model 3 Aero wheels.
Right.
I know that we're talking about a Nissan Leaf here, but we've heard that you get 8 to 10% efficiency increase by using the Aero wheels.
And I laughed it off.
I did too.
I completely thought that
how could
was
you get 8 to
that's a
10%?
joke.
But the more I'm learning from this, I can see that could be easily true.
Yeah, which
Wow.
is amazing and makes me go ha 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 because I knew I liked the look of the Aero wheels.
So here's the thing. I was wondering to myself, how come we haven't learned about this sooner? We've been driving cars for over 100 years. Maybe because ICE cars are so inefficient. I mean, they only are like 25% efficient compared to electrics, which are more like 90+% efficient.
Right.
You wouldn't notice it because even though you're still getting that efficiency on an ICE car, you're having such an inefficient engine that when you do the numbers, you would just get a couple points of efficiency.
Right.
Whereas with an electric, you'll see more of that efficiency.
Right.
So maybe over the years, we've just been like, whatever, it doesn't really make a difference. And with electrics, it does.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So
yeah, please double check our math. Give us some thoughts on how we could do the test better next time. Keep in mind it's a Leaf, so we can't do a whole lot of miles. But,
that's true.
But yeah, if we have to test it again, we should, because this could be groundbreaking. This could make the difference for a lot of people. To add that many miles of range to a Leaf,
Yeah.
is a game changer.
It is a game changer. And let me just tell you, as a Leaf driver, I feel every Leaf driver's pain of range anxiety, and it just such a difference when you're getting on the highway and stuff. It's just like, oh, no problem, just hop on the highway.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just been feeling so much more relaxed lately because I haven't had to be stressing about my range. So, yeah, definitely something to think about. There will definitely be a part 2 to this episode, so don't think that the case is in any way closed. We definitely want to hear, what we did wrong to test. I mean, we tried to remove as many variables as possible.
But you guys should check our results. That's how science works. So we'll put the link below to the wheels that Jesse got, so that if you want to pick up a pair yourself, you can.
Yep.
And,
they come in, I think, 15 and 16-inch varieties. The 15s are even cheaper, but check your wheel size, obviously.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Now You Know. Please let us know if you liked it, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. That's how we know that you liked it and we can make more videos. So thank you so much
for watching.
Now You Know.
Now you know.